See, check it out. I just figured out what the cause of this bug was,
Oh,
and it was something stupid.
isn't it always?
Yeah, but you know what? I've discovered something. Whenever there is a bug, it will always turn out to be something stupid and embarrassing and obvious once you figure it out. It's always like that. I don't know if anyone famous has ever said that, but if not, I'll claim it.
Welcome to the Hackberry Hollow video podcast.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
We're doing video now.
yeah. This is probably the only time this is the only thing we've ever done where we actually needed video. But this is still going to be.
Come on. We could have used video before.
Yeah, but we were just talking. We were just had the. Yeah.
Come on, we can be wasteful like everyone else.
Yeah. So this actually has a reason to be on YouTube now, except for just, coverage. So we are getting very, very close to finishing up, at least for the big part of it, for the Animation Academy software. And one thing we thought would be kind of fun to kind of talk about coding is actually to show using Gorse, I think is how it's supposed to be pronounced. It's a source, but with a G. It's basically a visualization of Subversion commits, or Git, or whatever it is that you're using. I can interface with those two. So, and I think we were first introduced to this by a video someone did of the Blender 2.5 development, and we're like, oh wow, that's cool. And
it's strangely mesmerizing.
it's really neat. So what we're going to do is we're going to, Adam and I, we are going to be kind of doing some commentary on the video. And so let's go ahead and start that. All right.
Hey, look, I'm farting out code all over the place.
Woo!
Bam!
So I think at this point, we just barely started using SVN for this. Or if we set
a lot
up
of this, I mean, that huge blast was code that I already had. That I had already written before we moved it into SVN. And so at this point that we're at in the video is when I actually started coding the thing.
Yeah.
Well, not when I started coding the thing, but when I started actively updating SVN as I was coding.
Yeah. So you're going to see Adam's little red icon moving around, spitting at code. If it's yellow, that means he's changing something. If it's green, it means he made something. And if it's red, it means he deleted something. So that's the key for that. And of course, the different colors are the different file types, which sometimes come up as little text.
Yeah. But at this point, I wasn't really using SVN quite like I did later, because I would update a file and I would be working with that file for a number of days, but then I wouldn't put it in SVN until we've been working for a while, and I go, I really should commit this so that it's backed up.
Yeah.
So there will be days at a time where I don't have a commit in here, even though I've been working on it all that time. But later I reached a point where I was actually using SVN to transfer the files to the server. And so you have points later where I'm just constantly got this yellow stream where I'm pissing code onto the tree. And that's where, every time I wanted to update the file on the server to test it, I would do an SVN commit.
Mm-hmm.
So right here is like a week or two where I haven't committed anything.
Yeah, and I think this is when we were really focusing on Hackberry Hollow, the writing of it at this point, because again, we've been working on Hackberry Hollow for a long time, and there's another project that we're working on at the same time as well, and that's what all of this thing is. And you can see it just collapsed a little bit. Those files weren't deleted, just collapsed it because it's going to be there forever and it's uninteresting. So that's what that shrinkage or unblooming is. So here comes around. We're working on a new portion of the software that we're working on. So you can see I'm up there in the upper right corner, spitting out templates and HTML and images and stuff like that, so that Adam's code can use it.
Yeah, templates.
Oh yeah. And that has still continued even now, but we'll get to that.
Oh yeah. Oh come on, it's fun.
Yeah. So this is still the stuff that we were working on previously, which you will find out what it is when we're done. But yeah, we're working on multiple things at once, all of which are related to Hackberry Hollow in one way or another.
I love how I'm like the only coder that's flying around this whole thing.
Yeah. And I just pop in every once in a while and
update artwork,
and then I disappear for a while, like right now. Oop.
Yep. Oh, there he goes.
Leaving Adam to his lonesome.
Yeah.
And again, things are kind of slow because we're writing Hackberry Hollow at the same time. But then come around November, things start to change a little bit because during this time, I've been taking classes at the Animation Academy, and Charles Zambilis, who runs the school, was talking about how he wants to take it online, and I was saying, we are actually working on something that we could add on top of it to do this. And so come November, we were kind of talking about it. And then here we're like, all right, let's get serious. And then you're going to see this explosion of code coming out. I mean, look at this. This is Adam just like getting everything ready. Bam. Okay, that was a directory being moved, I think.
Yeah. Well, I've been, like last couple months, I've been flying around trying to get this code written. Like a lot of this, I'm working in exclusively like 1 or 2 directories, but that's because a lot of the framework was already done by this point, and so I'm just getting the front end and the control panel done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see right there, I'm just pissing away at that directory. And at this point, I was doing an update or a commit every time I was sending something up to the server to test it, so... Yes. Really easy way to work. So I don't have to move around to 10 different directories whenever I need to update something.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're using Subversion to just transfer files over.
Oh, yeah.
To the production servers.
Yeah, I'll just have a terminal window open on the server, SSH in, SVN update, and it uploads all my new code.
Mm-hmm. Oh, one thing I thought was kind of interesting is that because I actually didn't know that Adam was such a good coder. I heard he did some stuff, with like web programming, like in years past, but I was thinking, that was probably just like, script kiddie stuff or whatever. And then when I actually saw him working on the, stuff for Lumaglyph, our original software that the Animation Academy stuff is, the system that's based on, I was actually pretty blown away, which is why I was pretty confident that, we were able to, pull this online educational site together in 3 months. And yeah, I was actually quite blown away. And then I had to go back to doing my HTML, CSS, wizardry, which Adam was also kind of impressed by, and actually some of the things I had to do later impressed myself, because there were some things I didn't know how I was going to do in CSS.
You pulled it off.
I pulled it off.
It looks
yeah.
great.
So yeah, it's the live session where we had to have like it's a full screen interface, and there's frames, and like kind of like frames like what you had back in the 90s on the web, but with CSS and not crappy. And no scroll bars or anything. And I was trying to figure out, like, how am I going to
word that?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, like, how am I going to do this? And then I, after some research and some trickery, I was able to pull it off. But one thing that has made this, so the reason why I bring this up is it's funny that we ended up going back to our programming and web design roots, even though the reason why we started the studio off to begin with was so that we wouldn't have to do that for a living.
I went into art and that all that kind of stuff to get away from programming, because I knew I was good at it, and I had taken classes and I'd excelled at those classes, and but I'd done enough of it to know that I didn't want to do it for a living.
Yeah.
But what kind of got me through this project is a little bit different, because it's kind of my own thing. It's for my own company.
Mm-hmm.
And with that sense of ownership. And then the other thing is that I don't have a manager.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm designing the whole thing as I go. There's no, you need to do it this way, or, no one back there cracking the whip. And given that, I am able to just sit down for hours and hours, and I think the commit logs kind of illustrate that. Just throwing the thing together, designing as I go.
And there we go.
Yep. This is all my stuff from yesterday. Oh, and
Yep.
from this morning, too.
Still. Wow, you're still making commits. Holy crap. To the bitter,
that's all this morning stuff.
to the bitter end. And now we come to now.
Yep, there's the end.
There it is. So I hope you all found that mildly amusing.
One thing that's helped, though, is back when I was first learning this stuff, I couldn't pull this off. Right now, I'm at a point where there's no real learning curve anymore, which on one hand, it makes it boring, but at the other hand, it means I can move fast. That's why I was able to pull this together so quickly.
Yeah, and when you guys register for classes and take classes at the Animation Academy on the online program, yeah, all of that, 3 months. Of course, the back end was pretty much done.
The framework was there.
The framework was there because it's based on our secret project.
Well, that's why towards the end we saw me stick just kind of confined within a couple of directories, like blasting off there. That's because I had the whole framework done, where I was just having it describe, okay, you're on this page, and what is it actually displaying, and what's actually on there, what can you do, what can you interact with.
Mm-hmm.
And what was nice was it was really simple at that point. I need an upload button. Okay, put in a little bit of code that inserts the upload button using all these functions that I had already written.
Yeah.
So, you reach a certain point and then you just start moving very, very quickly. It's just the first couple months where you're trying to get to that point where, you feel like you're not making any progress. Oh, this is so daunting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're always talking about how you always want to make sure you have the framework done first. You have everything planned. You know what all the functionality is going to be. And you don't really see anything like no visual representation of the work you're putting in until like at the last minute. Yeah. It wasn't until like the last month or the last few weeks of this project where we pretty much really had anything to show. But that's the way to do it.
That's how coding is. At least that's how I work, because I try to say, okay, I need the software to be able to do all this broad array of things. How many things could I combine so I could have the same code doing this, and this? So write a function that I can call in 20 places rather than writing the same code 20 different times. And once I have enough of those functions in there, like I've got this PHP class that handles, for example, your workspace, and all the different pages on there are just, it's just the class reacting to what the user's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it all uses all the same functions in there. It's just a mix and match. I mean, I reached a point now where it's almost like, okay, can you do this and this? Okay, drag and drop, doop, 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 doop. Write a few SQL queries to throw the data in there, and then bam, whole page is up.
Yeah, because I have to write HTML for everything for the site, and then I'm usually used to just handing it off to Adam, and then I just kind of wait a few weeks. But now it's like I give it to him, and then in 2 hours later, it's like, yeah, it's done. I'm like, oh crap! I guess I have to do more templates now, huh? All right.
Yeah, because the framework's there. I'm using a lot of the same functions I've already written.
I know he's implementing stuff almost as fast as I can create the HTML for it. Boy.
Yeah. The instructor critique system hasn't been quite like that. That's all new code, so it's taking me a little longer. But most of the pages are that way.
So, and another example of the reusing code thing is the forums, blogs, comments. Those are all like basically built on the same thing.
Yeah.
So
the other day he sent me a template for the blog for instructors, school-wide announcements, etc., and I had that implemented in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
All the functions were written, and it's got everything. It's got the Ajax, it's got the infinite scrolling comments and all that jazz.
All right. So with that, that's our update for the week, and we are going to get back to work. We'll be having more announcements regarding the Animation Academy soon.
We're also going to be resuming work on Hackberry Hollow here in the next couple of weeks, and I, for one, am very excited about that.
Yeah.
I'll be damned if Glenn gets to work on that alone.
Yeah. All right. I am Glenn Moyes,
And I'm Adam Weber.
and we will see you soon.